most disgusting moments on paternity court.
I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Also still continued a sexual relationship.
Yes, with the both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah.
You were having sex with?
I have sex with both of them.
Got it. See, this is it. Woo, thank you, Lord, for patience. Because when you downgrade him, you downgrade yourself, because you're the one laying on your back with your legs open for him every time he calls.
Mr. Brown is refusing to believe that he is the father of his child, simply because the baby was born prematurely. This is a ridiculous reason, and it's clear that Mr. Brown doesn't understand science. Or does he have another reason for doubting the paternity? This relationship is on the verge of breaking, but will Mr. Brown stay if he finds out that he is the real father? He's also asked for a lie detector test, so what does he think Miss Parker is hiding?
You're summoning your boyfriend, Mr. Brown, for a paternity test to prove that he is your 6-month-old son, Malachi's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, you say you stepped up when Malachi was born, but began to have paternity doubts because of Miss Parker's scandalous behavior.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown's doubts are apparently based on the fact that Miss Parker got pregnant in June, but the baby was born on January 5th. He's done some research, and he believes that even as a premature baby, the baby should have been born in February. But is he right, or is he just looking for an excuse to deny paternity?
You said the dates are not adding up? What about the dates didn't add up?
Well, like she said, she got pregnant during June. The baby was born in January. I did research, and I found out that full-term pregnancy is between 39 and 40 weeks.
Mr. Parker is stepping in to defend his daughter. He believes that Mr. Brown has trust issues, and he thinks that the baby looks like Mr. Brown, so he should be able to see through his doubts and accept the baby. Mr. Parker is urging Mr. Brown to step up and be a man. Today, let's find out if Mr. Brown is actually the father.
I know the situation is obvious that he has trust issues, he has insecurity problems. Obviously, a blind man can see that that's his child. I mean, look at the baby, look at him.
Yeah, why are you here?
Why are you here? I mean, obviously, you know that's your baby.
Ms. Parker is crying, and it's heartbreaking. She wants Mr. Brown to stay in her baby's life because he's the only father the baby has ever known. She doesn't want her child to grow up without a father.
I mean, whether he's not or is the father, I feel like I still want to sign the birth certificate because he been there since day one. He's the only man like I love, and like I don't want to be with nobody else but him. And I don't know, like I don't want to interfere with their relationship and their bond.
The lie detector results are in. Did Ms. Parker sleep with anyone else during her relationship with Mr. Brown? The lie detector says no, so she was telling the truth. This means that Mr. Brown is the biological father of her child. This is a gripping story with a lot of suspense. Will Mr. Brown finally accept that he is the father of his child? Or will he continue to deny paternity? But one thing is for sure, this is a story that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
Mr. Brown, you are not Malachi's father. Ms. Parker, you were asked if during your relationship with Mr. Brown, have you had any type of sexual contact with another man? You said no. The lie detector determined that was the truth. Ms. Parker, I have to ask you, do you know who baby Malachi's father is?
Yes.
After 2 decades, imagine the shock of discovering that the man you believe to be your father is now denying his paternity. It's utterly bewildering, isn't it? Poor Ms. Tucker finds herself in this very situation, standing before the court, desperately trying to prove that her father is indeed her biological parent. Will she triumph in this legal battle and reclaim her father's love? Let's dive into the emotional roller coaster.
Miss Tucker, you believed another man was your dad until a bomb was dropped on you 10 years ago when your mother admitted that the defendant is your biological father. You opened your case to prove to Mr. Hunter that he is your dad. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Luke couldn't help but notice the struggle in Ms. Tucker's eyes as she fought back tears. Raised with the belief that her father played no role in her upbringing, she was led to believe his presence didn't matter. But let's pause and reflect. Shouldn't every person have the freedom to seek out and connect with their true roots? It's heart-wrenching that Ms. Tucker had to accept this for a whole decade.
I know you've had to hold so much of this in. What do you do after that?
His sister didn't come get me again after that, but I did go home and I talked to my mom about it, and she told me it did not matter because she was my mother and father and he didn't do anything anyway.
Curiosity piqued, Judge Luke turned to Mr. Hunter, questioning when he discovered the child wasn't his own. Surprise, surprise! As it turns out, he had known the truth since the child's birth. He confessed that upon hearing this news, he vanished into thin air, only to resurface 15 or 16 years later.
So when she got pregnant, you were told?
Yeah, and she told me the child wasn't mine.
And what was your relationship like with Miss Tucker? You were dating exclusively? You were boyfriend and girlfriend, or just?
Yeah, for a short while. She told me she was pregnant. She said the baby wasn't mine. I left and I got my life together. And I stayed gone for 15, 16 years. I came back to North Carolina hearing rumors that she was mine.
Hold on tight, folks, because things are about to take a grotesque turn. Even though the child was undeniably Mr. Hunter's, Adrian, the mother, told him she wasn't his daughter, prompting him to flee. But wait, it gets even crazier. When he returned, fueled by swirling rumors, he ended up with Adrian's own sister. Talk about a mind-boggling twist. Both Adriana and Mr. Hunter seem to have lost their grip on reality.
I couldn't leave it alone. I'm like, there is something bizarre happening here. He left after you said the baby's not yours, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you told everybody else that you thought you confided in, and people had thoughts.
Yet, amidst the chaos, Ms. Tucker emerges as the epitome of strength, taking matters into her own hands, determined to unravel the truth and set things right. Let's applaud her courage. After all, she is the one who has endured the most in this tumultuous ordeal. Judge Luke, touched by Adriana's plight, extends a sympathetic gesture and requests the envelope.
Because of all of these dynamics, you're the one that suffered.
One thing I want to say to both of them is that this is about me. And I feel like both of them are just kind of nonchalant about it, because this is the most I've heard out of all of this time. It took for me to have to take matters into my own hands to get both of them here and answers, and it should not have happened like that, I feel like. I just don't think it should have happened like that.
Yeah. You are right. Yeah. This is exactly why this courtroom exists.
And now, the moment that has been waited for, the verdict. Brace yourselves, because it may not be the outcome Adriana desired. Alas, Mr. Hunter is proven not to be Ms. Tucker's biological father. It must have shattered her heart, yet she displays remarkable resilience, asserting that her sole intention was to uncover the truth, allowing both parties to move forward without further interference.
Mr. Hunter, you are not the father. I'm sorry, Adriana.
It's okay. I just want an answer so that I don't have to keep interrupting his life or, keep going through this in my own life. So
I'm very sorry. I was hoping to be able to give you the closure you deserve.
yes.
Get ready, folks, because this case just took an unexpected turn. The real question is, could either the deceased man or his own brother be the father of this child? Seriously? How could Ms. Brogdon have relations with both brothers simultaneously? Now, this might either pique your interest or leave you utterly disgusted. Proving to the deceased man's family that this child belongs to them won't be a walk in the park, that's for sure.
Ms. Brogdon, you are in court to prove to Ms. Jones and her daughter that her deceased son, Tyrell Jones, fathered your 1-year-old daughter, Quamira. You say once the DNA proves your case, they need to step up for your baby.
Yes, ma'am.
Fast forward a bit, and things are getting even more complicated. Mr. Brogdon dropped a bombshell, claiming that Tiona knew Paul wasn't the father, but Tyrell was. However, Tiona insists that Tyrell might be the father. Meanwhile, Tiona is primarily concerned about her family and the turmoil they're enduring due to Timsha's accusations against her brothers.
So ultimately, you're saying this has affected your family?
Yes, and my brother's he has to live with guilt because of it, Now he has to carry this with him.
Because he has guilt because he knows he slept with her.
Yeah, and it's a possibility, that he could be the father. He was even upset about trying to take the test. It's too much.
Two women in the courtroom, and they're both losing their minds, shouting at the top of their lungs. Timsha simply wants them to step up and take responsibility for the baby. However, the sister and mother believe it's unfair to put their family through such stress. But let's be real here. That's not a good enough reason to abandon an innocent child.
So, Ms. Brogdon, you're saying that Ms. Sugden and Ms. Jones, they didn't know anything throughout the pregnancy?
No, they did know something about.
You believe they did?
Yes, they did. I came to the funeral pregnant. I was 8 months pregnant. How didn't y'all know I was pregnant?
I didn't see you at the funeral, Mish.
I
didn't see you.
I came to your grandmother's house the day that he passed away.
She sat at the table at the repast with the family, pregnant.
Yes.
Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the results are in. Brace yourselves, because Paul is not the father, but Tyrell is. Now, here's the real question. Will they embrace this baby as their own niece? Will they find it in their hearts to love and support her? It's their moment to step up and take responsibility, to make her an integral part of their family.
Mr. Paul Jones is not the father.
I'm sorry.
Which means
I'm sorry.
Tyrell Jones is Quamira's biological father.
I'm sorry.
Step into the gripping tale of Miss Phillips, where a tattoo that once held meaning has transformed into a source of disgust. What led her to despise this man so intensely? Brace yourself as we delve into Miss Phillips' life and uncover the shocking truth behind her resentment towards Mr. Polk. Miss Phillips aims to establish Mr. Polk's paternity of their 1-month-old daughter.
Miss Phillips, you've opened your case today to prove to Mr. Polk that he is the father of your 1-month-old daughter, Promise. You say, after Mr. Polk's initial acceptance of the pregnancy, he has been MIA since your daughter's birth. Is that correct?
Could there be a deeper reason behind a man's rejection of his own flesh and blood? Or is he simply lacking responsibility? The judge probes, eager to get straight to the heart of the matter. Did they embark on a romantic journey? Or was it all about immediate gratification? The way Mr. Polk shamelessly admits to his desire for nothing more than physical pleasure is truly disheartening.
The first time you got together, when was that?
It was back in June in 2017.
That wasn't the first time. It was like July 4th.
Did you have sex the first time you all got together, or did you actually go on dates?
We did. We actually did. I'm talking about straight to it. Straight to it.
Cause that's all I wanted at the time. Cause that's all I wanted at the time.
Straight to it.
Unbelievable! Upon discovering her pregnancy, Ms. Phillips reached out to Mr. Polk only to have him ignore her calls and instead contact the landlord. And to top it off, he has the audacity to claim that Ms. Phillips disrespected him? Even the judge is taken aback by such callousness. His decision to block her number, leaving her feeling discarded, is nothing short of outrageous.
No respect. You the one sleeping with Miss Phillips while you got a whole girlfriend.
Tell him again,
Yeah.
Erner.
And then you're not even taking her calls.
Yeah.
Now,
I was done with her.
I feel like Miss
cutting me
Phillips,
off.
there
I
are
was
some
done with
other
her.
people
He
you
was
could have
not
probably
done with me.
called.
He done
Done
with
with
me.
it at the
He wasn't
same
done with me.
time.
I wasn't having that. He wasn't done with me.
I was done with it at the
He wasn't
same
done with
time.
me.
The judge snaps Miss Phillips out of her victimizing reverie, reminding her that while Mr. Polk may be toxic and undeserving of her affection, she repeatedly allowed him back into her life. Despite the countless instances of disrespect, he was always just a call away. It's time for her to face her own choices and take responsibility.
Because when you downgrade him, you downgrade yourself, because you're the one laying on your back with your legs open for him every time he calls. About the sex the first time it happened like this, you just a snap away.
At long last, the truth emerges. Is Mr. Polk the father of this beautiful little girl? The judge advises Miss Phillips to be wary of Mr. Polk's manipulations and to no longer lend him an ear. Can a man who displays such behavior truly be a suitable father, even if he is biologically connected to Promise? Let us ponder this unsettling question.
Has been determined by this court. Mr. Polk, you are the father. That's your beautiful little girl.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about the doubt.
Well, now that he knows that she is, he needs to help me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And more than that,
Hold on to your seats, folks. We've got a shocking and downright disgusting case on our hands. Brace yourselves for the jaw-dropping details. Miss Parker claims Mr. Morton is the father of her 7-month-old baby. The twist? She thinks he's shirking his responsibility because his current girlfriend turned him against them. Is this the truth, or is there another side?
Miss Parker, in your suit, you claim Mr. Morton fathered your 7-month-old son, Aaron, while in a relationship with his current girlfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say the only reason he denies paternity is because his girlfriend turned him against you because she's been unable to conceive a child with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Whoa, hold up. Did you just hear that bombshell? Get ready to have your mind blown. The judge asked how Miss Parker and Mr. Morton continued their affair while he was in a committed relationship. Brace yourselves. Ms. Parker was involved with both Mr. Morton and his girlfriend, Mrs. Lemon. That's right, folks, a love triangle.
So, Miss Parker, how did you end up having sex with Mr. Morton if he has a girlfriend?
First of all, Your Honor, that's my baby father. Anytime I want to have sex with him, I'm going to have sex with him.
You have a child with Mr. Morton.
Yes, I have a
already.
5-year-old son.
And he's not the child in question.
No, Aaron is.
But you also still continued a sexual relationship.
Yes, with the both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah.
You were having sex with
I have sex with both of them.
with Mr. Morton?
And Mrs. Lemon.
Things got confusing when Miss Parker mentioned a previous miscarriage. Here's the scoop. She was married but got pregnant by her boyfriend and had a miscarriage. How does it relate to the current situation? The judge had to dig deep to make a fair decision. Talk about a complex web of relationships.
You were pregnant,
Before,
but you
like this was before though. This is before I got pregnant
He was only
again.
locked up
You're right.
a
He
month or
wasn't even
something.
away when I was pregnant. He was with me.
So the bottom
when I
line
was
is you
pregnant,
were in
while we
fact
was together
pregnant by your
him.
boyfriend,
Yes, I was.
but you
But I
miscarried.
miscarried.
I was pregnant by my boyfriend,
Right.
yes, but I had a miscarriage.
Exactly.
Subsequently, I got back in a sexual relationship with Mr. Morton, had unprotected sex, and I was pregnant again.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I wanted to understand.
Yes.
Now, let's delve into Mr. Morton's disbelief. When Miss Parker revealed her pregnancy at 8 weeks, he didn't buy it. Could it be because of her previous pregnancy? The judge questioned his doubts. And guess what? He still had them. Was this the reason for his lack of involvement during the pregnancy? The plot thickens.
How many weeks?
8 weeks pregnant.
You're 8 weeks.
I was 8 weeks pregnant when I got that sonogram, and I went home and I gave him the sonogram to let him know.
What was your response, Mr. Morton, when she told you we have a baby on the way, they miscalculated my due date, and now I really believe it's your child? What was your response?
I had my doubts because of what she had told me.
You still had doubts. Did you participate? You have a child with her already. Did you
Yes.
participate in the birth? Were you there through the pregnancy?
I didn't
Were
go
you-
to none of the appointments. I ain't show up to none of the doctor's appointments, but I was there with
I have
Dad.
evidence.
He's talking about
I have a picture of him holding my son when he first came out.
Rome, may I see that, please?
Hold on a minute. Did Mr. Morton really let his girlfriend disrespect his mother? Unbelievable, right? Was it manipulation, or does he think his mother deserves disrespect? Regardless, interrupting others while they're talking is never okay. And seriously, using his mother's lack of involvement as an excuse for disrespect? Weak argument.
She did not have anything because we were supposed to try to get together a baby shower. So she did have him early. So as far as support system, it was me and my daughter, which is Eric's sister,
And her
Mr.
mother.
Morton's sister.
And her mother.
And excuse me, I'm talking.
It don't matter.
It does.
It don't.
So therefore,
Did you just let her disrespect your mother?
Yeah, real bad.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I had to catch that.
Drum roll, please. The moment we've all been waiting for. The results. Mr. Morton is confirmed as the father of Ms. Phillips' baby. He'll need to pay half the expenses incurred so far, totaling $993.50. Now, here's the big question. Is that enough? Shouldn't a father be actively involved instead of trying to escape? Food for thought, my friends.
You are Aaron's father.
Thank you. I told you, like I'm not no. Come on.
Ms. Parker, you came to court with a suit in the amount of $2,047. Mr. Morton is, in fact, baby Aaron's biological father, which means you are legally obligated to care for that child, and Ms. Parker is entitled to half of the child care expenses she has incurred thus far. You admit you contributed $30, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You came in suing for $2,047. Half of that is $1,023.50, less the $30 you contributed. So therefore, my ruling is for the plaintiff in the amount of $993.50. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes, Your
ma'am.
Honor.